This video is sponsored by Goblins Publishing. Synergy, an ecosystem city builder with a beautiful art style and a unique world, is out now. Check it out at the link in the video description. So I have been, and in fairness, I remain, super sick recently. I have just really not been good. I have been bedridden for days on end. My head hurts, my throat hurts, my nose hurts, my ears hurt, and my lungs hurt. Everything really hurts right now. Talking is a challenge, breathing is a challenge, but aside from that, I do really like video games, as you might know. You might know that about me if you've been around the channel for a couple of minutes. I like video games. I like indie games. I like city builders. I like colony management games. And so Synergy, being all of those things, it is in fact a video game. It is an indie game. It is a city builder and a colony management game. It is in fact a game that I'm interested in and that I'm very excited to be checking out today. Now, what we're gonna do with this, because I'm sure it's new to a lot of you in the same way it's relatively new to me, is we're gonna dive in and play through the tutorial mission/campaign thing to learn how Synergy works. And if you're interested in seeing more of this on the channel in the not too distant future, but ideally when I'm not sick, let me know in the comments below and we can make that happen. But before we do that, there's two things I want to make you aware of. Thing number one is that this video might have a few more cuts in it than my videos usually do. That's because every 30 seconds to minute and a half, I need to just breathe. So that's kind of where I'm at with my sickness. And thing number two is that I have played through the Scorched Earth tutorial before. I did spend some time with this game a few days ago when I was even more sick than I am now. But the benefit of all the medication that I'm on and the lack of sleep that I've been getting, or the too much sleep that I've been getting, is that I don't entirely remember doing that. So I'm going to do it again. We're going to go through it together. We're going to learn what Synergy is about. And like I said, if we want to do more of this, then we absolutely can. Now, if you have been around the channel for a while, you know that I love doing voices for all of the characters in games that don't have voices themselves. Unfortunately, I am not physically capable of doing that today. So you're going to be dealing with my voice reading everything that there is to read. I'm not doing any silly accents or anything like that. There might be an inflection here or there, but anyway, you get the idea. I think I've rattled on enough about how sick I am. So we have the origins. A group of exiles driven out of the dried out oasis that protected them until now needs to recover. However, their resources are meager. The climate challenges them at every turn, and the desert is full of strange and dangerous mysteries. For 2 generations, our community lived in an oasis, protected from the hazards of the outside world, but like everywhere else, we had no choice but to leave our homes. All is not lost. After crossing a sea of sand, we reached the shores of some new lakes. This will be the perfect place for us to settle. But first, we need to plan the urban layout of the area. A central square will give the city its initial structure. So, city management. You have discovered a place that seems fit to build a new city. Your mission is to develop it so it can overcome environmental challenges, meet its citizens' needs, and ensure their well-being. Cities are structured around interconnected districts, which cooperate to profit from surrounding resources. Each district grows around a central square, and you can start by designing your first district by building a founder's square. So this is the map that we're dealing with. And I will say it's not procedurally generated. It's the same map that I played with the first time I went through this tutorial. But what I will say is that I love this game's art style. I don't know what it reminds me of. I'll be honest. I really don't. There's something very specific that it's reminding me of, and I can't put my finger on it. But I really love this sort of hand-drawn vibe that's going on. I love the colors and how it's beautiful. That's basically what it is. It's a really pretty looking game, and I hope you can agree with that. I also thought this was water the first time I went through here. This is water out here. This ground here is not. So we're gonna go down here. we're going to build a Founders Square. The square, or this square, although rudimentary, is the first beating heart of any emerging city. It is designed to be at the center of any population center's first districts and can become the basis for more complex constructions. So we'll go ahead and throw this thing right in here where the game wants me to do it. And we'll speed up time here in the bottom left as well to 4 times speed just to get this thing built that little bit quicker. And I will say, I'm looking at you, City Skylines 2. This game also happens to have the process of building a building. It doesn't just pop up. So, you know, little something there just to think about. Anyway, since our arrival, people in the camp have been sleeping under the stars with nothing but a thin blanket to withstand the cold desert nights. Despite our city's first constructions, citizens don't feel much safer than before. While our builders wonder how to construct stable houses on sand, we must build temporary housing. Tents should do for now. So, your citizens need housing to settle. All your citizens' needs are communicated to you through their housing. Their vital needs include food, clean water, and a comfortable ambient temperature. By meeting their basic needs, you will ensure their survival. Later on, you will be able to satisfy their secondary requests, called satisfactions, which provide important bonuses to the city. When the housing capacity exceeds the number of citizens, children can be born. The more satisfied citizens are, the greater the chances of births. Children don't work, and it takes one entire cycle for them to become adults. The construction of new houses is essential to make the population grow. Still, make sure you can always meet their vital needs. Start by placing some tents in your district area. Housing placed outside of the district won't benefit from the satisfaction results. Also, beware of higher temperatures. They can make housing uninhabitable. Look for shaded areas to install your tents. So I don't think the shade thing matters too much at the moment. So what I'm going to do is go in here, I think with 8 little tents. The game only wants 6 of them, but I'm kind of thinking 8 just because I can kind of get like a nice little layout in here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll spin these guys around and do something a little bit like this, which is going to be nice and quick to get built, which is absolutely fantastic. We can get rid of all of these little exclamation points as well, since that's the game telling me that they're done. To really launch our city, we have to stock up on needed materials. Luckily, a small quarry of boreal rocks stands just south of our settlement. Also, several citizens have volunteered to extract stones and use them to build a first warehouse. Let's confirm the order with the volunteers and choose the perfect spot for the small warehouse. The rip out action is the most basic method to extract resources, but it also destroys map elements in the process. You will find it in the fast actions bar. That's this thing down here. Some collectible elements, such as rocky amalgams, can only be ripped out. Use this method to get some boreal rock. All collected resources must be stored. In the water tower, clean or toxic water. In the cellar, food or clean water, which are the resources used by citizens to nourish themselves. And in the small warehouse, everything else. Citizens don't collect resources unless they have somewhere to store them. So what we're going to need to do is start working on a small warehouse, which I think is going to live right about... We could do down here, but I'm actually thinking I might do it off to the side. I think off to the side might be kind of nice for a little warehouse. So we're going to go right there with that. And then we want to go down here and rip out some of these rocky amalgam things. So we'll just tear out 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, I think, because I think we get 10 boreal rocks per thing that we rip out. We don't need to rip out 4 of them, but I'm just a little bit impatient, so I figure I might as well. Resources must also be transported by citizens to various buildings. Therefore, you need to keep enough citizens available for transport by not assigning them to all specific tasks. Paths and clay roads allow citizens to move faster. Paths are free, so don't hesitate to build as many as necessary. The citizens assigned to the carrier tower are exclusively dedicated to transport. They won't be called out for other tasks and can carry up to 50 resources versus 20 for other citizens. Citizens follow your direct orders first, and then the tasks they deem important. You can However, prioritize buildings and other elements, forcing associated tasks to take precedence over any others. So we need to build some paths. That is the current objective. That's why I've left these little gaps in here, because I figured it would look kind of cool. I'm also thinking I'm going to rip out that tree. Not that I need to do that, but I just want the space so I can put a path down there. And then basically my paths are just going to loop around all of this because I think it's going to look really cool to, oh, well, I mean, we're making progress. That's fine. In the past, our community has tried to collect resources from its environment without understanding it. We have witnessed plants wither, meager groves scorched, and quarries depleted. We must not repeat that mistake again. To better understand the behavior of local specimens, we need to equip our scientists with a field laboratory and send them on an expedition to study those species. You remember when I said I wasn't doing a voice? I feel like I am doing a voice. I'm doing like this deeper, like the gravelly thing that's going on is just my throat hurts. And like, that's going to be there for this entire video. I'm sorry. But I feel I'm doing a weird voice for those like story beats, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. We might have to maybe we'll just make another YouTube channel where I do every video in a voice like that. And it'll just be, instead of ConflictNerd, it'll be Peaceful Dork. And it'll just be my, going to my Matthew McConaughey era, I guess. I don't know why that's my go-to, but you know, we did once start every video with all right. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, or something like that was back in the day. So I'm not far off just starting up a video. This is completely unrelated to this game, but I'm not far off starting up a video. All right. Just go all in. Anyway, oh God, I can't laugh. It hurts. To meet you, oh, that really hurt actually. I'm good. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. To meet your citizens' needs and develop your city, you require resources, even if you have no idea where to find any. Therefore, the first thing to do is analyze your environment. To do so, build a field laboratory. The field laboratory can analyze plants all over the map, but it only provides a knowledge bonus to housing within its range. As such, place it strategically so that it has your tents covered. So I suppose the field laboratory can go right about here? I guess this seems like a decent little spot for it. So we'll do something like this and we'll go around with some paths. I need to remember that the blue terrain here is not, it's not water. I can do this. I'm also going to surround our little district center with some paths as well. And I think while we're at it, let's go ahead and run some paths just straight out of here as far as we can go in that direction and about as far as we can go in that direction. And we'll do the same thing over here. We'll go about as far as we can go there, and we'll go pretty much down to about there because we are going to need some water at some point. So we'll just have these connections that bring us out of the middle of the district. So when it comes to the field laboratory, I suppose we can, you know, let it build right about there. We can assign up to 4 people to it. I think in this case, we have, 10 people right now, and none of them have been assigned to any job. So I'm going to assign 2 of them. We don't need to assign 2, but I figure we'll assign 2 of them, and that'll be totally fine. Performing environmental analysis with the field laboratory enables you to learn the characteristics of nearby plants. This knowledge will help you get resources without harming your citizens or the environment. The first analysis, the surface analysis, gives you the results of the rip out action and of harvesting actions on plants. So basically, we need to hit this little button down here to analyze something. We're going to do a surface analysis. And if we zoom out, we can see all of the stuff that we can analyze. So we'll start by analyzing this tree, which seems like a great idea. We'll analyze this thing because that seems like a good idea. We can analyze this stuff because it's nearby as well. We'll queue up this one. And I guess we'll go out and queue up this one as well, which I'm pretty sure is it's a fungus. So it's going to be like a mushroom or something. But that should be totally fine. We can go ahead and start to analyze those things and we'll see what it's all about. So we're bringing back some samples, I would assume. And I think we have, a receipt of analysis reports. So let's have a look at what we're dealing with. This is the sunshade tree. If we rip it out, we get tree trunks. And if we use an arborist's workshop, which will let me harvest it, we get branches, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty neat. We have the petrified giant. Okay, that seems a bit rude, but all right. If we rip it out, we get boreal rocks. If we use a picker's cabin, we also get boreal rocks. I'm assuming the picker's cabin and the buildings are like renewable ways to get those resources, whereas ripping them out just destroys them. So that's totally fine. We do need to analyze a plant that produces sour pods. So let's go ahead and do analysis of these guys, because they look, I don't know about you, but that looks, what is it? A diluvian bush. All right, to each their own. That looks like it's got some pods on it, right? If you were to look at anything around this landscape and say that's got pods on it, it's definitely going to be that one. What do we got here? The riverbank finger. Okay. If we rip it out, we get seeds. If we use an arborist's workshop, we get toxic water. Interesting. Okay. And then the cinder sprout gets me bark, whereas the picker's cabin also gets me bark. Okay. I'm all right with that. I'm assuming this one is going to be mushrooms, and then I'm assuming this one is going to be our sour pods, which is perfectly fine by me. So let's, I guess, any second now, once that's done, go ahead and have a look here. So giant fungus, if we rip it out, gives us mushrooms. The arborist's workshop will give us mushrooms, but it will kill the plant. Okay. I don't love that. I don't want to kill the plants. And then this guy, if we rip it out, gives us branches. If we use a picker's cabin, it gives us sour pods. That's what we're looking for. That is exactly what we're looking for. The food we brought with us is dwindling by the day, and more citizens are tempted to feed on local plants and drink the water from nearby lakes. However, that water is extremely toxic. Also, the local fruit and vegetables are both prickly and weird, and picking them without taking precautions is out of the question. We need to train horticulturalists and build an appropriate workplace for them so that they can start collecting fruit, vegetables, and other blessings from our environment. As for water, we can draw it, store it, and treat it to make it drinkable. To survive, your citizens need to eat regularly. To do so, they need food. When they eat at home, they consume the resources directly from nearby storage. This is why housing must be placed within range of a storage, such as a cellar. And so I suppose we should go ahead and place a cellar into this space. I think what we're going to do is tear down this tree over here, because I want to put a cellar sort of opposite the field laboratory. So we'll go ahead and let me just make sure that is in fact the cellar. It absolutely is. It's going to live right about there. We can do some roads around it as well. We can see the range that it has as well, which is fantastic. And we also need to build a picker's cabin. So is that a little something that we happen to have in here? That's a cellar. That is knowledge. This is strategy. This is storage and distribution. This is housing and mobility. Interesting. We need to select the cellar either way. So let's go ahead and configure it so it requires 100 sour pods. That's going to be these guys down here. We'll go ahead and have 100 of those. And to get food, you must harvest. Harvest actions achieved from buildings such as the picker's cabin allow you to harvest plants without destroying them. This way the plant can regrow and be harvested again, making it a durable method. So I guess now we have the picker's cabin, which we want it to go out, I guess, and harvest a bunch of stuff. Ideally is sort of what I'm thinking. So I sort of want to put it here. I think down here is going to be a good spot, or over here actually might be a good spot, because I want to go out and I want to pick some of these guys because we can get bark from doing that. So I think this tree is going to go away, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sort of okay with that. And then the picker's cabin is going to live pretty much opposite the cellar, which I'm totally fine with. So right about there, we can have some fun with some roads sort of going out and around this guy the same way that they have on the other side as well. So out to about there, down to about there should be fine. That is going to leave us some weird spaces in the middle here, which I don't necessarily love, but we'll figure it out. I know the game has decorations in it that I can play with later down the line, so that'll be totally fine. We do need to get some people working in here though, I think. So let's go ahead and get 2 people working in the picker's cabin. And the first harvest order is going to be to go out and start picking, I want to say, a bunch of food is my thinking. I would say that's how we go. We have a whole bunch of it up here as well, which is great. So let's go for that spot is my thinking. So they can go out and harvest all of that. I would like them to come down and harvest. I don't really need them to harvest a bunch of boreal rocks, but I think a harvest point right about here would be kind of great. Oh, interesting. You can only pick 1. That's unfortunate. Okay. So I guess it would be better if I wanted them to do these rocks to just put them like here, right? So they have this entire area covered. So we'll do cinder sprouts, I guess. And I'm going to say that I want them to do more harvesting of these berries. I think that's important. I think it's really, really important that we stay on top of food. So we'll go for there for more bushes. That should be fine. They should be able to cover all of that, I think. And then we just need to speed things up a little bit. And we should, and we do, we have 9 of those sour pods, which is totally, totally fine. Completely okay with that. I'm also kind of wondering, do I want to get rid of you? If I get rid of that connection, I mean, it's maybe a little bit silly, but I could do, or not. I'm going to read instead. I was going to do like a little road there and make things look interesting, but apparently not. Citizens also need clean water to nourish themselves. This is why housing must be placed within range of a storage, such as a water tower. The pontoon is a building that allows you to get clean water in small quantities, or toxic water in larger quantities. Use it to obtain clean water. Unlike other resources, water doesn't need to be carried manually. Being connected, water towers share a common inventory. They are able to absorb and distribute water to the buildings within their range. Okay. I'd like to put my little road back in here because I think that looks neat. I can build some stuff in that little area if I want to. I'd also like to come down and just clear out these guys because number 1, they're giving us, what is that, seeds? I think we need those later, but number 2, I want to come down here and build a pontoon. So I'm kind of wanting it like here. I think that's a pretty good spot for it. So right about there should be fine. We can do a little road that comes down, something like this, and just sort of scoots across that way. And then for a water tower, it doesn't really fit in the middle there, which is a little bit annoying. I was kind of hoping I could get away with a little something in there. It also doesn't have, well, no, I was going to say it doesn't have a great range on it, but it kind of does. I suppose I could put it out there. What about up there? Is that a good place? Not particularly. I might just need several of these is what I'm thinking. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here. So that way we kind of have water towers on either side of our little town square thing, district center, whatever it's called. And that should cover just about everybody, which is what we're looking for. This is going to need 2 citizens here. We have, let's see, 4 of them at work. We have 6 of them not doing anything. Let's put 2 of them into the pontoon for now. And they can start getting us some clean water, which is exactly what they're doing. So that should give everybody water, which is exactly what we want. And if we go and have a look in here, we can actually start to see just how we're doing in terms of resources. So if we look at food in general, if they only eat basic foodstuffs, your citizens consume up to 100 units per cycle. As it stands right now, we're doing plus 62 production in the last 40 days, plus 72 consumption 60. I guess we haven't had resource gathering for 40 days yet, so this is probably going to increase, which is good. So as long as this number stays higher than that number, we should be fine. It'll be the same with water. As long as the water, I mean, we have 100 water up here, but as long as we have more production than we do consumption, we should be fine, which is exactly what we're looking for. And so hopefully everything sort of works out. Looking at these guys, it is 8 days to produce 10 water right now. We're definitely going to need more people to get all of these buildings going super efficiently, but we will get there. Our past is cursed with instability. According to the elders, too often we have barely avoided extinction, and we have never had the occasion to settle and expand our knowledge. Others insist that we once used to have libraries full of wisdom, which sadly failed to survive the environment's hazards. The result is the same regardless. Everything remains to be done. To transition our resources and erect new types of buildings, we will have to construct a research building with all the necessary equipment. Then, we will be able to study the projects our citizens care about the most. 8 adults and 0 kids have joined the city. Perfect. That's actually very good. We can put people to work. We also need more houses, which I'm fine with. The dry season is a recurrent challenge for your city. Consult the weather forecast tool to anticipate it and adapt your infrastructure accordingly. During this period, water holes dry up, preventing pontoons from collecting water. As the temperature rises sharply, adapted infrastructures are needed to limit the heat. Moreover, dry seasons get more intense over time, sometimes marking an indefinite... can I speak today? Apparently not. Sometimes marking a definite rise in temperatures. You will then need to find new solutions to face such extreme conditions. To take on upcoming challenges, you must unlock new tools and upgrades through research. This will help you get more buildings, recipes, and various bonuses. Okay. Well, first things first, we have some people that are homeless, but let me put some people to work in the pontoons. Let me get some people to work in the picker's cabin, which is fine. The cellar is fine. The laboratory... Honestly, I don't know what the laboratory does when we're not actively analyzing things. Like, I can go and tell them to look at these trees and these things, but we've already analyzed them, so I really don't quite know what they're doing. I guess we'll just sort of keep them busy, and that'll be fine. Or do I get, like, bonus things for analyzing it again? Information already obtained. Yeah, it doesn't look like I do. So I'm sure there's more we can do with that down the line, which I'm completely fine with. That's really not that big of a deal. What I would like to do, though, is get more houses. I think that's going to be really important. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all within the district. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I might regret doing that many, but I want to make sure that we're kind of future-proofed here. They are within the water area. They are within the picker's cabin. They are... presumably within the storage range. I don't really know if it matters too much. That'll be fine. That'll keep everybody happy in terms of homelessness and whatnot, or a lack thereof, which is fine. Let's have a look at the research tree then. So each research requires an investment in resources. You can only unlock a new research if it is connected to another that you have already completed. Unlocking a research project requires science points and heritage points. The first science points are provided by analyzing plants with the field laboratory. Then, you need to build a research center to produce more points. Okay. That's fine. This is very cool, though. I do like that we have a proper little, like, research tree here. This is going to let us get the research center, which is great. So the future of the community, we'll go ahead and unlock that. And I'm assuming... yes, we need to build a research center, which is a huge building, absolutely enormous building. And I'm kind of looking at this and thinking if I changed that road, it would fit in here really well. So I think that's maybe what we're going to do. Or I could put it back there. Although that feels like you know what? I want to put it back there. That's exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think was what we needed to go here. 4 was what we needed to go, but that's fine. Put it right there. Let's put some roads sort of out and around it. Apparently there's a bush in the way, which we're going to have to rip that out because I want to get my little road in here. That's important to me. So right about there, and that'll be pretty good. That looks pretty cool. I like that back there. I like what we have going on. I feel like we got a little town coming together. It's gonna be good. Is what it's gonna be. Now, the research center is up and running. We can put 3 people to work in here. 1, 2, 3 is exactly what we're going to do so that we get as much research as we can possibly get. Expanding your city requires the development of new districts. By unlocking places through research, you can transform your founder's square into one of 6 advanced places, each matching a type of square and each with its own specialities. Unlocking extensions requires resources. but these allow you to expand your district's zone any way you want. You must find the plants that provide the necessary resources to upgrade your district. Use your book of knowledge to remember the information you've gathered about your environment. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I can do that. All right. Well, we need to unlock the tables and green spaces research. We need to improve a district in a display square, which I think is an upgrade for this guy. So that's totally fine. The display square here is not available right now, which is totally fine. I'm assuming it maybe needs me to go and get the tables and green spaces research. So if we go in here and have a look, we're looking for a research this one. Yeah, this is absolutely the one. This gives us at least some of these different district squares. So go ahead and unlock you. We can go ahead and upgrade you with the display square. So we'll get that going, which looks pretty good. I think that looks very, very cool. To obtain certain resources, a refining stage might be necessary. For example, tools crafted at the forge or dishes which are consumed, prepared in the kitchen. Certain versatile production buildings can produce several resources. Production modules allow you to, I really cannot speak today. My nose is just getting more and more stuffy and my throat's just getting worse the more I talk, man. It's a problem. We're good. I can do this. The show must go on. Production modules allow you to select the resource to produce and the way to produce it by choosing the recipe to use. This allows you to adapt the resources available in your environment. You must find plants that provide the necessary resources to produce simple dishes. Consult available recipes in the kitchen, choose one depending on the resources available in your environment, and use your book of knowledge. Yes, I absolutely will do that, probably. We have decorations now. This is obviously where my priority is going to be, because we have spaces like this where I can put little plants now and make things look pretty. And again, that's sort of my priority. It's really kind of my thing. So is that a domestic cistern? Oh wait, no, that's cistern, not outhouse. That's something very, very different. Let's put this little workbench in here. That seems kind of nice. Let's do this and this and this and this, because that seems kind of nice. Like a nice little decorative area there in the middle. That looks kind of lovely. I like that a lot, actually. I really do. I think that's really, really nice. We need to unlock the dish preparation research. So let's take a look at what exactly that's all about. It's going to be this guy, which I'm assuming gives us the kitchen. Yeah. So now that we have the kitchen, we need to build it. I don't have the stone needed to build it though. So I guess either we can go out and just tell them to grab it, which is certainly a thing, but it looks like if this is my resource thing, right? So this is, I'm guessing, where I would see stuff like, boreal rocks are in here. We have none. Okay. I guess that makes sense. What is it? The picker's cabin, they're not going out and doing anything with boreal rocks. So let's just grab a bunch myself. And then I think the kitchen can go just out here, and that should be totally fine. We'll get some roads going around it because that's something I love to do. We'll get a little bit of decoration in there with the shelf, whatever that's all about. That'll be totally fine in that little corner. And we are going to need to get some people working here. Now, fortunately, we have 7 people that are available to work in the kitchen. So we're going to do that. We are going to need to get a recipe here as well, which is going to be this one, the rough porridge. This is why we needed those seeds from earlier. So we'll start working on that. And we also need to get the to grow anew research. So let's have a little bit of a look. It is going to be this one down here. The seeding procedure tends to change from species to species. We must conduct botanical studies so that our pickers can seed the plants. Yes, that gives us the seeding element for the picker's cabin. So we'll go ahead and unlock that, which is totally fine. And now we just need to make the simple dishes, which is great. So does that mean that, theoretically speaking, I could do seeding, convert resources gained into seeds, providing 50% of the displayed value? So how does that... Oh, I see. Okay. So that would be very interesting. Okay. So I don't know that we need to do that right now, although we do need a steady supply of seeds now that I think about it. Interesting. Okay. I wonder. You can't pick those either. I think we need to do that, right? So I think we go out here. We start getting the seeds from these guys. That's going to let us make a steady supply of rough porridge. And then we also have the regular berry collection up here. I don't think we need a huge supply of bark. So I think canceling that and going back to a picking job might be a great idea. And I think going ahead and, well, I was going to include more of that, but apparently not. Faced with toxic water and prickly plants, it seems inevitable someone will get sick sooner or later. Many citizens are wondering, what will we do if that happens? Fear and insecurity can be as lethal as any illness. We've seen it in the past, entire families deciding to take their chances alone in the desert, only to be vanquished by isolation and end up beneath the sand. To reassure our citizens, we should build an infirmary, assign it a doctor, and demonstrate our new scientific knowledge. Housing satisfaction is divided into 4 categories: well-being, social, cultural, and knowledge. Each category provides specific bonuses to the city, such as upgrades in construction, production, or research. Satisfaction increasing plants and buildings apply their bonuses to the housing within range. Also, to provide bonuses, buildings require an assigned citizen. Don't forget to assign someone. Each bonus has a tier: 1, 2, or 3. Satisfaction improvements provided by bonuses are capped according to their tier. 1 is capped to 10, 2 to 20, and 3 to 30. Superior tier bonuses allow you to reach higher values and may replace inferior tier bonuses. Consult the satisfaction heat maps to see the most suitable places. Consult building details in the construction menu to see which have an impact on well-being, and then build them. So to get the infirmary, we are going to need to spend some science points to unlock healthcare, which gives us the infirmary and the pharmaceutical factory, which is very fancy. We'll go ahead and unlock that though, because we are going to need it. And then this is the pharmaceutical factory. This is the infirmary. And it's actually, it's a pretty good little size right there. I think it's going to go right down in that corner. It has a pretty good range on it as well. And we'll put some roads around it right there, just so that little corner is nicely enclosed. Shouldn't take too long to build, which is fantastic news. Also looks like we're doing just fine out here, picking some things. Let's see how we're doing in terms of foodstuffs. We are actually consuming more sour pods now than we are producing, which is slightly horrifying. I don't love that. We are producing more simple dishes though, which is fine. Water is also at a deficit, which is a problem. So I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. At the very least, what I can do is go ahead and get another one of the, wait, can I get more people in here? No. Okay. So we're gonna get another one of these guys so that we can get more water in here. In terms of food production, not 100% sure what we're doing there. We do have mushrooms available, which would be nice. I don't want to kill the plant by picking these guys though. Or harvesting these guys, I should say. That doesn't seem like a great idea. Maybe what we do is we change out this. Let me try something here. So if I go to seeding, I can go down here, and I don't know what that means right there. Petrified giants. I think that's gonna give us mushrooms. I think that's giving us mushrooms. It's kind of hard to tell what exactly is going on there. Yeah, natural ingredients, mushrooms. I don't think they're counted as food though, which is maybe slightly problematic. I don't know what do we do with mushrooms? I guess they get used, I think, in the pharmaceutical factory. Can we use them in the kitchen? We could make mushrooms. Ooh, that might be kind of fun actually. Although it needs, what is that other ingredient that it needs? Wait a minute, mushroom. Wait, it produces something. I don't know what that second thing is that it's producing. Rotten resources. Oh. Okay. Scatter the seeds of plants. Plant new specimens. Supply the ground. Okay, we'll figure out what that's about. Either way, we can make mushroom soup now, which is kind of exciting. We have this guy going, which is great. We have 7 people not doing anything, so let's just put 4 of them straight to work in here. And that should mean that we have plenty of water production here in the not too distant future, which is what we're looking for. So let's also assign 2 people to the infirmary, which we've done 1. I can't assign the other right now. The infirmary provides complete treatment for all sicknesses that citizens can suffer from. However, treatment, duration, and remedy quantities may vary. When a citizen's being treated, they can perform no other tasks. Ideally, it's always better to keep your citizens away from harm. The infirmary allows you to select what sicknesses to treat. Assigning several doctors allows you to simultaneously heal a greater number of citizens. Some cures require remedies. To produce the latter, build a pharmaceutical factory. Okay. We have 2 people assigned to the infirmary, which is great. We now need to reach a well-being of 8 in the city, which, I mean, we're at 5 out of 8 right now. You would assume that an infirmary would do good for it, but apparently not. So I've been going around and around and around, and I can't figure out what exactly I need to do to increase the well-being any further than it is right now. I have moved some houses around. I moved them closer to the infirmary. It didn't do anything. So I'm going to build the pharmaceutical factory all the way out here because I can, and I might as well. And we'll put some roads around it. We'll see if this improves maybe the quality of healthcare or something like that. I really have no idea. But we might as well build it. It's something that we have. We have some people that aren't working right now anyway. So, I don't know, giving people medicine. I mean, it's been working for me for the past couple of days and weeks. So, we'll see what happens is what we'll do. That's where I've got to. We'll go ahead and assign some people to it. We can use mushrooms and water to make medicine. I would assume that's going to be good, right? I would have to assume that that's going to be good for people. We can also make this, but we'll stick with the whatever this is. The purifying remedies is what we'll stick with, and just see if that, I don't know, improves the well-being of the people. It's still 5 of 10, which is great. It is increased by bonuses that are capped according to tiers, so we can see, you know, the infirmary gives us a +5. Do I just need a second infirmary? Is that possibly what the game is trying to tell me right now? Is that I just need to go and build another infirmary? That would be very strange if that was the case. I'm not against doing it. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely not against building another one. But what I do know is that these bushes give us a +5 to, I think it actually gives us a tier 2 +5 to well-being. So I wonder if I was to go in here and build some housing, if I was to say that maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 little houses right there. I hate to tear this one out, but we're going to tear that out just because we can. What I'm thinking is that I could do a little something like this. I'm going to sort of bring this out so we have that weird corner. I can put some decorations in there. I want to see. Yeah, so that's brought my well-being up to 6, which is great. That's a little bit better. I don't think decorations do anything for it. I don't think putting those bushes in there is doing a single thing for well-being in my little settlement here, which is unfortunate, but that's sort of to be expected. I will say I don't know that I want to have these houses out here anymore. I think we'll clear those out because we can push those people to live elsewhere. I don't know if that's going to increase well-being or not because we're moving those people into new houses. But at the very least, we have got it up to 6 now. Social has gone down, which is less than good, but that's all right. We're making progress, and that's sort of all I care about right now. I can also purchase an extension to my district, which I'm going to do. I don't know what that necessarily does, but I'd like to build, I'd like to build out here is sort of my thinking. I don't know if this gives me that entire space, but that's I think an extension of the district. And what I'm curious about, yeah, so I could build out here. And the reason I want to do that is because these plants also give us some really nice bonuses to well-being. So in theory, I could just build a bunch of houses back here, build 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And hopefully that's going to push well-being that little bit higher. 7 right now is pretty good. It's still not 8, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. There's no building giving us clean water out here at the moment, which isn't really ideal, but I think I'm starting to put this together. I'm thinking I'm starting to figure this out, which is great. So let's just do a little road going around here. Seems like a great idea. Getting another source of water out here might not be a terrible idea either. Just now that I look at the space that we have to play with, that might be a pretty good idea. And I'd love to, I mean, this guy gives us some well-being as well, right? Yeah. I wonder, I don't think it stacks. So I think I can get rid of this little plant right here. I think I can get away with that. And my hope is that I could bring some of these guys out. Ooh, we're gonna have a bit of a tight space in here for houses if I want to do what I was thinking of doing here. Let's instead go 1, 2, 3 right here, down like this, and up this way. We can take out this little bit of road here, and we'll do 2 more houses right there and there. There is room for a little decoration in that corner, which is perfect. And unfortunately, social is now continuing to drop. Well-being is continuing to stay exactly where it was. So let's bulldoze another house. That seems like a fair idea. Let's bulldoze another house. And I think we just did it. Yeah, well-being has finally gone up. Oh boy. The citizens have noticed a strange phenomenon. A luminous dot blinking chaotically and only visible at night. They fear it could be a distress signal. Numerous volunteers have asked to investigate it and organize a rescue operation, if need be. Let's select some explorers and equip them for the trip. So, building an explorer's hut allows you to send explorers on an expedition. The further the destination and the more explorers you send, the more rations you will need to take. Also, explorations can be dangerous, and explorers may need to take difficult and potentially risky decisions. Then again, exploration is worth it. Exploring the world allows you to meet other human beings with whom you will be able to trade resources, and sometimes they'll even join your city. You may also discover new species of plants to introduce into your environment, obtain technological artifacts and other resources, or even find tablets containing precious information. To get started, find a tablet and use it to unlock a research project. So once again, that brings us back to our research tree. We want to unlock exploration missions, which we will absolutely do. We want to build ourselves an explorer's hut, which we can, again, absolutely do. It's kind of a big, bit of a chunky building, so I think it can maybe live, I want to say down here is a pretty good spot for it. We can bring some little roads kind of out and around it just to have it nicely surrounded, which I think is probably for the best. And then exploration is something that I haven't really dabbled with too much. It's sort of, this is getting sort of towards the end of the tutorial, if I remember right. And I mean, the only other game I can think of where exploration was a factor in this regard was RimWorld, and I never did that in RimWorld, so I'm kind of looking forward to this a little bit. Now, let's explore, I guess. The world map is divided into regions. Exploring one will display its destinations. Each region offers a major reward held in one of its 3 destinations. The starting region always holds a tablet. The tutorial only contains 1 region. So basically, we have a camp, we have an antenna, and we have an antenna. We're going to start by going out to this one. We can send a minimum of 3 people, a maximum of 3. We have 4 available. And I guess that's fine. We can send the expedition. So our overload capacity is 60. And satiety, I'm assuming this is how much, like, how satisfied they are with food, I guess. Let's make sure we're sending out enough to feed them sort of for long term, I guess. You have enough rations. Let me bring that down a little bit. You have enough rations for 1 trip out and 1 trip back. You have enough rations for 1 trip out, explore 1 destination in the area, and 1 trip back. If we max this out, what does it say? For 1 trip, 3 destinations, and 1 trip back. Okay. So we'll start that exploration. And the reason I wanted to max them out there was because I think what happens is, if I remember right, you can send them to one location, then on to the next one. onto the next one, and onto the next one, and then back. So they don't have to come back to town after each individual destination. You kind of just keep sending them from one to the next, and so on. So having them with a full set of food for that entire journey just seems like a pretty good idea. And so that's basically what we're going to do. I will say I would really like to get my well-being to be a little bit higher. But in other news, we're doing really well for food right now. We have a lot of sour pods, which is great. Not that much in the way of simple dishes, which isn't great. Water is doing just fine, which is perfect. So I'm kind of wondering, let's put 2 people to work in the, maybe only 1 in the pharmaceutical factory, actually. Maybe 2 more into the kitchen, though. So we can get a little bit more, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for here? Cooked meals. We'll get some cooked meals out of the kitchen, make people a little bit happier, and just see how things go. Okay, so the expedition has reached its first destination. In the bed of what had probably been a strong stream long ago, the explorers follow the luminous signal they spotted from their city, and that leads them to a cave entrance. Although the cold coming out of the cave appeals to the thirsty travelers, it forebodes something strange. Once they enter the cave's narrow entrance, their path stops, closed off by a rectangular slab. The you know what? The passages on both sides are lit in a rather chaotic way. The rays of light seem to persist in the air and on the dust. What could the slab be hiding? This is probably like the design, the patterns, the patterns on both sides are, yeah, anyway. Ooh. I don't know if I want to use water. I'm going to use water to discover a passage. The explorers freeze and hold their breath, listening to the water seeping into the cracks and cavities of the cave's ground. Using echoes to guide their actions, they discover a side passage. The tunnel has obviously been dug by human hands. Some tools lie on the ground, apparently abandoned by their owners. The party collects them before carrying on their expedition. Oh, we got some tools. That's cool. Okay. There is a vortex in the middle of the room with a glow that provokes headaches. A metallic contraption forms a perimeter around the whirlwind, but it's hard to guess its use as it seems to be out of order. One of the explorers introduces a tool into the vortex by fixing it to a rope, and the item comes back unharmed. She asks for permission to explore inside. I mean, we only have one option. We're going in, is what we're doing. The explorer comes out of the vortex, her face and body marked with blue symbols found on the tablets. She seems suddenly filled with new wisdom. Oh, apparently we can't get everything because we have too much stuff, but we did get the tablet that we were out there looking for. So we could go back to the city. We could continue out this way. I think we're going to go back to the city just because that was kind of what we were going out there for. That seems like the right thing to do. Just because, again, we're sort of learning how things work here. I don't think we need to go too crazy. I'm also wondering, what do I need for another extension? I don't have the necessary resources. I don't have planks. Oh. All right. I'm pretty sure I can get my hands on planks if I really wanted to, but we'll hold off, is what we'll do. We'll hold off a little bit on researching things that we don't necessarily need right now. Your citizens have returned from their expedition and brought back one new tablet. Cool. All right. So now we have to decipher it in the research tree. In the research tree, tablets allow you to unlock specific research projects that are otherwise unattainable. They can be used to gain many science points or heritage points. Okay. We want to decipher a tablet, which in this case is going to be for the water extraction, which gives us the well. We can confirm that, which seems like a pretty good idea. So I guess we can place those around the place now, which I'm very excited about. Each district must contain certain buildings and plants to increase its development score. Reaching a new development score threshold allows you to unlock bonuses, which can then be applied to either the district or the whole city. Some bonuses are essential to help evolve our city, such as increasing the maximum threshold for well-being, knowledge, social, and culture, increasing the maximum threshold for legacy and science. Build a district of each type to maximize your score and unlock these bonuses. A high development score allows us to welcome more citizens into the district. However, if we exceed the overpopulation threshold, that means the time has come to build a new district. We did just reach a score there. I'm not sure what that was about. Our community, which seemed doomed not so long ago, is thriving once more. Despite all of its hazards, the world is no longer seen as just a menace. It is also viewed as an open door. Still, everyone is aware that at the slightest sign of complacency, our infrastructure could become overwhelmed by the unexpected and by our community's growing demands. We must improve our understanding of the natural world to predict it, despite its unpredictability. Fortunately, we are not the only ones facing this challenge. A new group is aiming to recreate bonds between isolated camps and share humanity's knowledge. We need to follow in their footsteps. Victory! Beautiful. We've completed the tutorial, which is great. The first time I did this, I got about 1,222 points. This time, 1,431. Still not gold, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Definitely okay with that. No one died. Took me about an hour, 13 minutes, which is all right. I want to continue. I'm not done here. Wait, well, I mean, the video is pretty much done here, but I can keep messing around with this. It's no problem. So what does this do? This is our little well, which is pretty cool. I don't know where it needs to. Oh, it goes up there. Okay, I probably should have expanded the district out that way then, but you know what? That's totally fine. That is totally fine. I, very much okay with that. Very much okay with that. Okay. I guess that is synergy. That's sort of an idea of what this game's about. Obviously, there's going to be some more complex systems as we go on. There's a lot of stuff in the research tree that we didn't get our hands on. It looks like there's other research sections that we haven't gone into yet. So there is a lot still to discover in this game, I am sure. But let me know. Do we do more of this? Do you want to see more of this in the channel in the coming days and weeks? If you do, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's going to do us for today. I would like to apologize for just being a little off my game. I'm like I said at the start, I am gravely ill. It's not a good time. It's not fun, but the show must go on. So here we are. This was really fun though. I've been playing this game on and off a little bit while I've been sick and just sort of learning things, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Cause I love this art style. I love these types of games. This is sort of reminding me a little bit of, and I mean, in the vague sense, it's a very different game so far, but it does bring me back a little bit to some of the sort of city builder, colony management games I played as a kid back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Stuff like Pharaoh. It's a similar vibe to Pharaoh a little bit. Very different art style, but for some reason, I might be completely off base here. It might just be the sickness speaking. I'm getting some very slight Pharaoh vibes, and I mean that in a very good way. So I'm going to play more of this regardless. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this game. Hopefully you've had a lot of fun with this video though, because that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I will see you next time when I'm not gravely sick. Bye-bye.